game had just started, and suddenly Draymond Green had Rudy Gobert in some kind of wrestling hold, squeezing his neck like they were inside a UFC cage. The players froze. The arena was in shock. The NBA, furious. 5-game suspension, another one. But this scene wasn't an isolated case. It was the drop that spilled a cup already full of punches, elbows, kicks, and chaos. It's Draymond Green. And to understand why, we need to go back to the beginning, to the neighborhood where it all started, and to the kid who swore he'd be a champion even if he had to fight everyone to get there. To understand the chaos, you have to start with the fire. And Draymond Green's fire was born in Saginaw, Michigan, a battered city abandoned by General Motors where poverty and violence were part of the daily menu. Here, kids didn't learn to dodge defenders, they learned to dodge bullets. And if you wanted to make it out, you had to bite. You had to fight for every inch. Draymond grew up with that. The NBA didn't give him that edge. The streets did. By 16, he was already the leader of Saginaw High, the pride of the city, a 6'6" tank who could play point guard, forward, or center, and talked like he was already in the league. "I'm going to make it to the draft," he said without hesitation, and nobody laughed because the kid delivered. The neighborhood saw him as a symbol of hope, the one who was actually going to make it, a local idol with a soul on fire who mixed talent with raw aggression, the same aggression that would later make him a champion and also the most hated player on the planet. But before that, he had to go through the mold. And that mold was Michigan State. At Michigan State, nobody saw him as a star. He showed up as the tough kid from the interior, scrappy, but without the ideal body, the ideal vertical, or the 5-star hype. But it didn't take long for him to prove he had something far more valuable, a junkyard dog mentality. Draymond Green didn't play basketball, he fought it. Rebounds, assists, blocks, screams, shoves, technicals, all of it, all the time. It was like watching a boxer dropped into a ballet troupe. He didn't fit, but it worked. By his senior year, he was the heart of the Spartans' Big Ten MVP, emotional leader, defensive engine. His dream was within reach, the NBA, but on draft night, nobody wanted him. Too short to be a center, too slow to be a forward, too much trouble. Not until the 35th pick did Golden State take a chance, and that's when the story began. What looked like a filler pick turned out to be the biggest steal of the draft. Draymond became the heart of a dynasty. With Curry and Klay launching missiles from Saturn, he was the one cleaning everything up behind them. Rebounds, blocks, screens, trash talk, leadership, and also his first championship in 2015. But there were signs. In his debut, he hit his first three and got his first technical. 2 years later, he already had a reputation for being dirty. In every series, his intensity turned into provocation. What fans saw as passion, opponents saw as poison. Draymond didn't play to please, he played to win, even if he had to run over everyone in his way, and the NBA still had no idea what was coming. 171 technical fouls, 20 flagrant fouls, 19 ejections, and over $1.4 million in fines. What Draymond Green has isn't a streak, it's a pattern, and his rap sheet reads like something out of a violent movie script. He hit Steven Adams with a flying kick to the groin, he caught Blake Griffin with an elbow to the throat, he nailed James Harden right on his already injured wrist, and none of it was accidental, it was intentional. Not even his own teammates are safe. You catch him at the wrong moment and you might get punched, even if you're wearing the same jersey. Because when Draymond loses control, he doesn't see colors, roles, or hierarchies. He loses control, period. Then come the apologies, the interviews, the reflective documentaries. He sells you the story that he's learned his lesson. You believe him, and a week later, another ejection. Draymond has two versions. One is a champion, the other a straight-up threat. And in 2016, that second version finally exploded. Golden State had won 73 games, an all-time record, the most dominant team in history, and in the finals, they were up 3-1 against LeBron's Cavaliers. Everything looked settled, until Draymond decided to take center stage in the worst possible way. In Game 4, with the win almost sealed, LeBron stepped over him during a play, and instead of letting it go, Draymond hit him in the groin. Yes, that again, but this time, it came at a cost. It was his fourth flagrant foul of the playoffs, and by rule, that meant automatic suspension. Draymond Green would miss Game 5, and that's when everything fell apart. Without him on the court, the Warriors' defense collapsed. LeBron and Kyrie each dropped 41 points. Cleveland took the win, and with that momentum, the Ghosts came rushing in. The Cavs won Game 6, and in Game 7, a historic showdown, they came back to beat the 73-win team, the greatest collapse in NBA Finals history, all because of one hit, one unnecessary reaction, one impulse Draymond couldn't control. Years later, he admitted it. "If I played that game, we win. It's my fault." And he's probably right, because that was the exact moment when his character, his fire, his intensity stopped being an advantage and became a bomb that blew up the entire team. Draymond Green isn't a player with conflicts, he is a conflict with legs. He's yelled at referees, coaches, and opponents, but he's also clashed with his own teammates, and more than once those clashes broke things that no apology could fix. Let's start with LeBron James. In the 2016 finals, we already saw it. Draymond hit him with a low blow that got him suspended for Game 5, but that wasn't the whole story. LeBron later revealed that Draymond crossed the line with what he said, even bringing up his family, something you just don't do. That lit the series on fire, and we know how it ended. Then came Kevin Durant, and this wasn't just a clash of egos, it was an explosion against the Clippers' tied game, last possession. Draymond grabs the ball, ignores KD, and turns it over. Durant confronts him on the bench, and Draymond hits him with a line that would echo forever. "You're a bitch. We know you're leaving. We don't need you. We won without you." Durant left at the end of that season, and yes, he admitted publicly that the incident influenced his decision. Then there are the usual suspects. Tristan Thompson nearly came to blows with Draymond at a nightclub. Rudy Gobert has been a target of Draymond's taunts ever since he cried about missing the All-Star game. Sabonis, Nurkic, Harden, Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams. The list is long and diverse. Draymond doesn't discriminate. If you're in his path, you could be his next enemy. They call him a fierce competitor. But a lot of people in the league don't see it that way anymore. They see him as dangerous, a guy who might give you a pass one day and punch you the next. And just when it seemed like all of that was behind him, he pulled off the worst one yet. It wasn't against an opponent, it wasn't during a game, it happened at practice, and it was a straight punch to the face of his own teammate, Jordan Poole. It all went down in October 2022, right in the middle of preseason. They argued, they shoved each other, and suddenly Draymond threw a vicious right hook. No filter, no ball, no code. What triggered it? According to witnesses, Poole had taken a jab at him, saying he was the most expensive backpack Curry's ever had, a line that painted Draymond as nothing more than a fancy accessory in the Warriors dynasty. Draymond didn't take it lightly, and his answer was a punch. When the video leaked to TMZ, it was a bombshell. It was no longer a private matter. It was a full-blown public scandal. The franchise's image was shattered, and even though Draymond apologized, filmed a documentary, and showed remorse, the trust in the locker room was broken for good. Poole's performance dipped, the team lost chemistry, and by the end of the season, he was quietly shipped off to Washington. A low-key exit that smelled a lot like punishment. That punch wasn't just a reaction, it was a symptom, a clear sign that Draymond was no longer in control of his temper and that the Warriors were paying the price. Because you can be a leader, you can be a champion, but if you're a ticking time bomb, eventually everything blows up. The craziest part of it all is that amid all the chaos, Draymond Green is still crucial to winning. Yes, he can be a walking disaster, but when he's locked in, he's a defensive genius. He sees the game 2 seconds before everyone else. He's the guy who organizes everything on the back line, reads every screen, anticipates every pass. A point guard trapped in a power forward's body. Steve Kerr knows it, Curry knows it, and that's why, despite everything, they still have his back. It's no coincidence that when Draymond is focused, the Warriors look unstoppable. And when he's not, the whole team falls apart. In the 2016 finals, when he was suspended, the defense vanished. In 2022, when he recommitted to the team, they won the title again. The guy makes a real impact. He makes everyone around him better, and in close games, it's his voice you hear, not because he's charming, but because he understands the game better than anyone. But of course, that strategist brain comes with a gladiator's soul that doesn't know how to stop, and that mix, at times brilliant, is also volatile, because the same guy who'll drop a perfect assist might be stomping on Sabonis' chest a minute later, or choking out Rudy Gobert. What he gives you, he can just as easily take away. And with every passing season, that balance gets harder to manage. The tactical genius is still there, but so is the ticking time bomb, and one day the NBA had enough. December 2023, game against the Suns. Yusuf Nurkic is barely guarding him. No pushing, no trash talk, but out of nowhere, Draymond turns and punches him square in the face. Nurkic goes down, the arena falls silent, and this time the NBA doesn't hesitate. Draymond Green is suspended indefinitely. This isn't just another foul. It doesn't matter if he apologized or said he didn't mean it. The league is clear. It's not just about the hit on Nurkic. It's about everything he's been stacking up for years. Because before it was Gobert, the infamous headlock, before that Sabonis stomped in the chest, before that Poole, then LeBron, Durant, Harden, Adams, Griffin, all of them. Draymond was no longer just a controversial player, he had become a constant threat to the physical safety of his peers. Adam Silver called him personally, and for the first time, Draymond thought about walking away. He admitted it later. I had a real conversation with the commissioner. It made me question if continuing made sense. Was he serious? Was it a PR move to buy time? No one really knows, but one thing was clear, the league finally hit pause like never before, and inside the Warriors, the question started creeping in. Is it still worth backing him? Draymond served his suspension, he came back, but he came back different, quiet, tense, eyes dimmer, like he knows there's no more room for mistakes. Today, Draymond Green is still in the NBA, still with the Warriors, but he no longer commands the same presence. People look at him differently now. He's no longer just the loud leader or the defensive mastermind. He's the guy who could lose control at any moment. The NBA drew a line, and even his own teammates don't back him the way they used to. The next outburst could be the last, but this is Draymond, the kid who came from the mud, who turned rage into championships, who's always lived on the edge, and now he might fall off it. Does he still have one last play up his sleeve, or this time, is there no coming back? Drop your thoughts in the comments section. This was Hoop Secrets, and I'll see you next time.